Hi there, welcome to the Nomadic Owl Oracle's first series of monthly readings for each zodiac sign. This reading is going to be for Aries for the month of January 2019. It is for the sun, moon, and rising signs. If you're not familiar with what your sun, moon, and rising signs are, you can go to Cafe Astrology or on Google to research that a little bit more. I'm not big into the horoscope thing as much as I am other things. However, it does tie all in together. So sometimes you can find really accurate information that would help you on those websites if you're interested in that kind of thing. So this reading is going to be general. So it's going to be for everybody. It's not specific for one particular person. I do ask that if you would like one that's specific for you in general, to request a reading with me. I charge $20 for an 8-card spread. I have no time limit, and I go over everything with you, answer any questions that you might have, and you can choose your own decks. At this point, I have 14 different decks that I use. Generally, I like to make sure that I work with the decks that the person wants. That way, it's more intimate and focused on what they're looking for at that time. So, without any further ado, I'm going to start this reading, and then we will go over everything while I'm doing that. Please bear with me. This is new to me. I have never done a reading like this. I am not used to being on video. This is not something I normally do. However, it was requested, so that's why I'm doing this now. Thank you. Okay, so the first deck that I'm going to use tonight is the Game of Thrones deck, and this is by HBO. It does not have any authors listed, so I'm not sure who actually published this, but I really like this deck. It's a great tarot deck, and if you like Game of Thrones, it's awesome, just saying. So the second deck that I'm going to use tonight to clarify other things is going to be the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and this is by Colette Baron Reed. It is one of my favorite decks that I have. It gives very thorough answers, so if there's like something in particular somebody's asking for, it is pretty spot on most of the time with those answers. So I am going to shuffle these while we are on the camera so you can see that I am doing so. That way you know that I haven't done anything to these cards, and we will go from there. Okay, so just bear with me one moment while I do this. I'm going to pray over these cards. Okay guys, just a little bit more. I just like to make sure that I have them shuffled. I'm not the best at shuffling, so that's why I'm not letting you see me shuffle that well. But I am shuffling. So we're going to go ahead and I am going to pull 4 different cards from this deck, one for each week, and then we will go over those here in just a second. So at the bottom of the deck, we do have the 4 cups. So cups are about emotion. What I will do is pull this card off of here and explain that a little bit more here in just a moment. So normally I work with the Oracle deck, so working with the tarot is something that I'm learning. I'm a student just like a lot of us are, and I'm getting more familiar with it. I like to use the Game of Thrones deck because I know the storyline of the characters. It's something that I'm very into, and I enjoy a lot. So, for example, like I was saying, the 4 cups, okay? Cups are about emotions and things like that, your feelings and situations that bring you into your heart space and things like that. So for the 4 cups to be the overall reading of the, or overall card of the month of January, would talk to me about being in your feelings. This is at a point where you're just kind of torn, you don't really know where you want to be, things like that. Maybe you've went through a situation and you're just kind of devastated by it. I'm giving you my intuitive into this, and then I will read you the actual definitions here in just a moment. So the 4 of Cups, like I said, was your overall card for the month of January. the first card that you have for the first week of January, or it could apply throughout the whole month, so we'll just say another card that you have, the first one that you have, is the Empress. However, that is in the reverse. Okay, so in this card, you see Khaleesi. Khaleesi is a queen. She is a leader. She rose up from being very shy, very timid. You know, she was overpowered by her brother and her family and traded off like she was, you know, just not worth anything. And she has, through the years, stood in her power and became very strong. However, when you see this in reverse, this talks about maybe you're being blocked or you're not standing in your power that you actually have at this time. The next card that you have is the Six of Cups. So as I said a moment ago, the cups are all about emotions. So the Six of Cups is a card that you would experience coming out of an emotional situation. Maybe you were really depressed, really just in a funk, and you had something really bad happen, and now all of a sudden you're out of that and you're trying to move forward to pursuing what makes you happy and being around those that you love. In this card, you see Jon Snow, and you also see Sansa Stark, which is, you know, I don't want to give away the story, but this is like his sister in the show. And I don't want to tell you the whole storyline, but if you know Game of Thrones, you'll know what this is about. So they were away from each other for a very long time. They weren't able to see each other, and then some turn of events happened, and they were brought back together. It was after a lot of horrible things happened that they were brought back together. Just saying. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that. The next card that you have is going to be the Page of Swords. Okay, so when you see this card, this talks about, you know, wanting to go into battle, wanting to fight, you know, like being set in your ways. You're determined to achieve whatever goal that you have. Maybe you're just over all the crap, you know, you've had a lot of crap happen and you're just like, you know what, screw this, I'm done, and I'm going to defend myself at this point. That's what I'm seeing in this card. The next card that you have is the Strength card. So, this is Brynn, or Lady Brynn, I believe was what her name is. And she is amazing in the show. She's very big, very tall, like an Amazon woman. She's very smart. She's a protector, and she takes care of, you know, certain people that she makes alliances to. She is stronger than most of the men, and the men are really scared of her. And she's just very loyal, very determined to help those that she's with. And her strength shines throughout the whole show. So when the Strength card shows up, it shows that you have the ability to be able to achieve what you're trying to achieve into your life at this time. So for example, you know, we were looking at this, you had the Four of Cups, so something went on that you weren't that happy with. You know, the Empress, your power was taken away from you due to this situation. The Six of Cups, after that, you're just kind of like, whoa, man, what the hell happened? And you're trying to get your footing back. And then you're like, no, I'm not going to take any more of this shit with the Page of Swords. And so you're defending yourself with your strength. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read to you what the book actually states that these say. But this is the storyline that I'm picking up on just by looking at this right now. So I might be wrong. Like I said, this is a general reading, so it may not apply to everybody, but I do want to make sure that I'm trying to cover and give you any intuitive signs and symbols and things that I'm picking up on at this time. So there's no way for this to possibly resonate with everybody because it is a general reading. However, I do want to try to help as many people as I can. So the first one, you know, the overall that we have for the month of January was the Four of Cups. So the meaning of this is hesitation, dissatisfaction, and restlessness. So it says, this reveals listlessness and hesitation. You may feel doubt or even cynicism when offered love or a work opportunity. Generally, you may be low on energy and motivation and withdraw into a kind of restless apathy. If you are in an established relationship, it's time to rekindle the romance. I'm sorry my hair is crazy. I tried to pull it back. So this is talking about, you know, you're just kind of like, dude, what the hell just happened? You know, like you're just hesitant. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to feel. and you're just trying to figure out, do I want to go in this direction? Do I want to stay in this one? Do I want to move on? What do I want to do? Where should I go? What should I do? You're like, man, I don't have much energy. I don't have much time for this crap anymore. So that's what that card is letting on to. This is your overall for the month. So it's like you're sitting back and you're trying to figure out things, and you're like, man, I don't know what to do at this time. But you're going to figure it out, is what these cards are stating to you. It's just a storyline that unfolds. And this could happen before the beginning of January. It could happen throughout January or after January. I don't put timestamps on my readings. Even though I'm doing this for the month of January of 2019, this could apply at any time. If you're watching it at this time, hopefully you're watching it because it's resonating with you. My goal is to help as many people as I can with the messages that I'm provided, okay? So the next card that we had, which was the first card that you had, was the Empress. Okay, so like I was saying, the Empress is really strong, very smart, very compassionate. She loves her people. She is very beautiful, just everything that, someone would strive to be if they were a queen. Okay, the Empress is a queen. So the meaning of this card is the matriarch: fertility, creativity, authority, abundance, and peace. So you have this in the reverse. So keep this in mind, okay? So it's in the reverse, so it means that something is erased. Something is not on point like it's supposed to be. Even though it's the Empress, this can apply to a male as well. If there's any males that are watching this and it says a female, it could be a male. Or if there's any male or females that are watching this and, it's a male in the card, it could apply to you. I'm not doing any genders. I don't apply that. This is for a situation, an energy. Now, if I ever say that it is specifically a certain person, then that would be when it applies to a certain person, okay? So with it in the reverse, it says, this card reveals imbalance in a relationship or finances. You or a person close to you may need to be less controlling, and money needs to be managed at this time. Creative projects may fester because you feel blocked. So if you're in a relationship and you're just like bored and, you're like, what the hell is going on with this? This is just not good. I don't like this. I don't want to be in this. This could be work, friendship, love, whatever it applies to you. This is a general reading. So it's telling you that you need to get control over the situation to stop letting it pursue and be the way that it has been. If you're wanting to make changes, now is the time to make those, because if you wait, then you're not going to be able to make those changes, okay? It's better to take care of it before it progresses and gets to a later state, is what it's saying to you. It's saying take the reins and bring it in and fix this issue that you're currently having. So the next card that you have was the Six of Cups. I apologize. So the Six of Cups, this card would, like I said, would speak of coming out of a time of emotional instability, being very upset and things like that. The meaning of this card is nostalgia, reunion, harmony, and childhood. So the meaning, it says, is a visitor from the past is coming back into your life. An individual comes back offering friendship and affection while helping you appreciate both the past and the present. Equally, you may find that your past learning and experience feeds a new creative idea or project. So maybe there was someone that you had a falling out with, because you were like, man, this relationship is just not going where I want it to go. Or like it could be friendship, family, love, work, whatever. And you're just like, you weren't happy with it, but you don't really know why, and you didn't know which way to go. It's talking about this person might come back around. And when they come back around, you are going to have all these emotions and feelings and things to bring it back into peace, to bring it back to where, you're able to enjoy that moment instead of focusing on the bad. Yeah, the bad might have happened. Yeah, there might have been things that upset you and things like that you weren't too happy and pleased with. But now you've had some time and a little bit of distance to sit away from that and to think about it. So now you have a totally different viewpoint on it. After that, we had the Page of Swords. So this card is speaking of, it says news, contracts, and vigilance. Okay, so Sorry, my lip was itching. So this is talking about, something is coming in swift, fast. And it may have been something you weren't aware of, something that you didn't know. So maybe like this issue in the past, you're going to find out the answers that you were waiting on, that you were like, why is this so weird? Why am I not feeling comfortable in this situation? What is going on? This is going to give you those answers that you're looking for. It says, a person, the page is a young individual, male or female, who is witty, clever, and contrary. Applied to a situation, he represents vigilance. You may have contracts and documents to arrange or sign for property, travel, finances, or other agreements. So the message is to pay close attention to detail and listen carefully to the advice from trusted sources. So, you need to be swift in whatever movement you're about to make into your situation. You need to be where you are aware and you're paying attention to all the little details, because there are a lot of different things that might go hidden that you wouldn't know about if you don't ask or you don't read whatever is actually there. So like, for example, if you're going to buy a car, sometimes we don't always read everything it says, and then later on we find out, oh, well, there was no coverage and now my car is broken down and I'm in a bad situation. Or you might invest yourself in a situation like as far as a job or a relationship with somebody, and you might think it's one way only to find out later that it's not what you thought it was going to be at all. So you're just kind of like, what the hell is going on here? This isn't what I signed up for. So it's saying to prevent you from getting into that kind of situation, make sure you're researching things and doing all the details to find out what exactly something is. Because let's be real, people sometimes will act like they're one thing when they're totally something different, because they want what they want at that time. I'm not trying to be mean and I'm not trying to be a hater. As an Aries, you are very passionate. You are very driven. And when you fall in love fiercely. So sometimes, maybe your heart might let you into these situations, or maybe your passions might lead you into these situations where people try to manipulate you because they know how to work the game or whatever. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it very well could be. So just make sure that you're paying close attention to what's going on around you. The next card that you had was the Strength card. And so the Strength card, like I was saying, talks about being able to have the determination and the positivity and the strength and power to move forward towards what you're wanting to bring into your life. Not taking any shit, doing what you need to do, and being strong within yourself. So you're an Aries, you're a fire sign. This comes naturally to you, okay? So you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the motivation, you have the intelligence, you have those things to be able to move forward into that situation. It says what this card represents is patience, courage, strength, resilience, pressure, control, and compassion. So strength invites you to get a situation under control, to connect with your inner strength to deal with external pressures or internal conflict. This may mean taking a moral stance, holding your ground on your values, and dealing sensitively with a hurt, anger, and an individual, or a wounded part of yourself. The card also reminds you that you have the willpower to break addictions or negative thinking patterns. So, like I was saying, somebody may not like that you're about to stand up for yourself, that you're going to be like, hey, buddy, wait a minute, this isn't what we agreed to, I'm not partaking in this crap, I'm kind of just sitting here to decide what I'm going to do, and they're not liking that. So they might try to challenge you. It's saying to stand firm in your convictions. Make sure that you're standing firm in what you believe. If it doesn't fit the life that you're wanting, if it doesn't make you happy, then you have the choice whether to stay in a situation or to move out of the situation. You are strong enough to pursue whatever avenue that you want. You just have to know and be prepared the best that you can for these situations. So with those things, and looking at this situation, now what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm going to pull some cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is one of my favorite decks, and this will give a little bit more information as far as like clarifying what's going on, what you need to do, and how all this applies to you. I hope that so far it's all making sense. I know that like I'm not like normal readers, that I don't follow a certain structure and stuff like that. I normally don't even do this. I just had people ask me to, so that's why I'm doing it. Excuse me. So I'm going to shuffle these a little bit, guys, and ask for answers, and then I will give you the card information, okay? So please bear with me 1 second. Okay, guys. All right, so we're going to pull 3 cards. All right. Ooh. Okay, so the 3 cards that we got. The first card is to be fair. So I don't know if you can see that. So this card talks about looking at all angles of a situation, being able to see your side, the other person's side, and the actual overall picture of a situation. You need to be fair, honest. Look at it without your emotions. Look at it intellectually. You know, use your head, not your heart, because sometimes our heart can cloud a situation. So like, for example, with all this shit that's going on, excuse my language, but with all this that's going on in your life, or whatever happened or is about to happen, you know, this is saying, be honest with yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Don't let your heart steer you in the wrong way. Be real with yourself. Because I know for a fact, me personally, sometimes like when I care for someone, I kind of overlook the things that I see because I love them and I want to be with them and they make me happy. But then I'm like, I'm seeing red flags and it's just like, no, I don't want to look at that. And then later it bites you in the butt. So that's what this card is saying. Be fair. Don't be too hard on somebody if you don't need to be. You know, you will, once you do that research that it told you to do and you look at things as they really are and you sit with a little bit of time in between to figure it out, that's when you'll know, okay? I'll read the meaning of this in just a second. I'm just giving you my intuitive based on what I know this card is, okay? So the second card that you had is the Fates. Okay, so the Fates. This is talking about a time where things are supposed to happen. You don't really have much of a choice in it. It's going to play out because it was preordained, predestined by the universe, by Creator, by God, you know, your spirit guides, whatever you believe in, okay? I mean, we all have something we believe in. I'm not going to put any religion on this, okay? So, anyways, it's saying that something was supposed to happen the way that it did. It was fated. So, knowing that, it's kind of like it's divinely guided. It's divine timing. It's something that was supposed to happen. So, just let go of your control and just ride the wave. Do the research, sit back, observe everything, and then ride the wave because the universe is leading this. You don't have the control of the reins. You can make your decision which way to go, but whatever is supposed to happen, the universe is going to control that, okay? The next card that you have is To the Sea. So this card talks about going and taking some time to yourself, being able to distance yourself from a situation for a moment to sit and reflect, to see, you know, hey, do I want to do this or that or whatever. So I'm going to read the definitions of these to give you more thorough information into these in case I'm not answering anything that someone might have. I apologize if this might seem like a kind of harsh reading. It's just, I do these readings based on what I'm given. So, you know, like sometimes people are like, well, that's not what I want to hear. I'm sorry. I can't help what information I'm given. You know, I'm given the information that Creator and Spirit and my guides feel that people need to hear at that time, whether they like it or not, whether I like saying it or not. You know, this isn't me just being, hey, I'm going to tell you this and this because you want to hear it. No, I tell you what I'm provided because I feel that I'm supposed to do that. My job as a reader is to read the meanings and give you what I'm given at that time, okay? So, I apologize if you hear that in the background. That was my cats. They're being crazy. I'm so sorry about that. I can't really distance myself from that. I have a very small place. So, anyways, sorry guys. So, to be fair, it says it stands for balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. So, life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing. Yet, over time, they strike a balance. You move from being stasis to doing, from discovering to loving, to letting go to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at the moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed to you now. So it's saying, yeah, things might have been kind of crazy, and you're like, whoa, I don't know which way I'm going, and you're back and forth, and you're trying to figure things out. There will be balance. It may not happen immediately. It might take a little bit of time. But things always come full circle is what it's saying. So find hope and find, peace in knowing that, yeah, this might have been crazy or it will be crazy. You're going to find a way to find your peace and find your grounding and footing again, okay? So number 17, which is the Fates, that was the third card that we pulled. And this card is talking about destiny. I know that. And let me see. I apologize, guys. So it's talking about karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. So the message is, the Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you'll never have control over. The conditions brought on by evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with those events and your current circumstances and what they have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. So, it's saying that you can't control what fate is out there for you, if you believe in fate, okay? That's what this card is revolved around, so let's be real, okay? So, some people believe that things happen because they were supposed to happen the way they happened. Some people believe that, God has laid out their whole life, and everything is supposed to be this way, that way. And so, some people just let go of control, okay? They go with the flow because they know, or they feel, that that's where they're supposed to go. That's what they're supposed to do at this time. So what it's saying to you is, don't lose hope. Just know that what's going on, even though it might seem clouded and it might seem like it's in disarray or something like that at this time, will eventually get you to where you're supposed to be. Maybe you're learning a lesson at this time. Maybe this is a stepping stone to get you to where you're supposed to be going. Maybe this is something to show you what weaknesses you have that you need to work on. There's a lot of different things that it could apply to. Like I said, this is a general reading, so I don't know who these messages are for. I'm hoping everybody gets at least some message from out of this reading, though. So then the last card that you have was To the Sea. And so this card is talking about being in the flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. It says the message is, isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life? When events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless. This card reminds you that you're going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So, like I was saying, let go of the control. Just ride it out. Have hope and faith and peace in knowing that whatever is supposed to be is going to be. You are going to be okay. You have the strength that you need. You're the empress. So whatever this is, even if you're a dude, okay, you're the emperor, empress, whatever. You're embodying the empress reversed at this time, okay? Whether you're a dude or a woman, whatever, okay? So the circumstance took you back. You're like, whoa, what's going on? What do I do? All that stuff, right? Just breathe, knowing that you are going to get the answers you need. You just need to research it. You need to think more on it. You need to look into the situation more to make you be able to understand it And then that's when you find your strength to be able to step outside of that situation and bring in the peace that you need and bring in the stability. This is your choice. You can either sit and wallow and be, upset and be like, dude, what do I do? Or you can take the reins back after you do your research and say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to be. And just make sure that you're being fair with it, okay? I know that like when we get hurt or something happens that we don't like, we tend to build up a wall around ourselves. That to be fair card is saying be honest with yourself. Don't deceive yourself based on just your personal feelings, okay? And everything's going to be fine. You're divinely guided. You're protected. So I hope that this reading helped you. I hope to see you back again next month. And again, if you would like a personal reading, please look me up on Facebook, The Nomadic Owl Oracle, or leave me a message on here. I hope you guys all have a great January 2019. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Have a great day. Thank you.